Hi there, welcome to my Sunday meal prep. And you might notice I'm doing this in this version rather than this version, and it's because my phone has decided it didn't want to do the other version, so whatever. So I'm doing two things for my meal prep today, because I think when you're cooking, kind of like, if you're going to be in the kitchen doing one thing, there's always downtime. So I'd rather make two things at once rather than one. It just makes more efficient use of my time, and if I'm going to make a mess in the kitchen and have to clean it up, do all the things. So one of the things I have going is I have a lentil sausage soup, and this is my daughter's favorite current soup, and because I'm single parenting this week, it's a great soup for her to take for her lunches. So that's why I'm making it, and it can be the occasional lunch or dinner for us. So what I've gone and done already is, when I'm making a lentil soup, this is a tomato-based soup. Got all this stuff on. So I went and I already cooked separately about a cup and 1 1/4 cups of green lentils, and I just cook them with bay leaves. I don't cook them with salt. I just put the lentils in a pot with water, more than enough water. I put a few bay leaves in there, bring it to a boil, simmer while I'm doing other things, and they're nice and soft. The other thing I did was we made pizzas last week with some Italian sausages from Costco, and I saved 2 because I knew I was making the soup. So I took them out of the skins, you know, the things, and I just browned that sausage. And so I had those extra, and then I've just gone and sauteed a couple of leeks, some celery and carrots. I could have just done onions, but I went to my friend Carolyn's farm stand the other day. She had gorgeous leeks. And I also put some herbs de Provence in there and some garlic. So now I'm just going to add the rest of the ingredients. And I'm going to add my lentils in there. I'm going to add my sausage. You know, I think the sausage, I don't actually think of the sausage as a protein source, which is why I just put a little bit. To me, the sausage is a total flavor cheat. It's a total flavor cheat. Because, I mean, pork, for one thing, cooked pork just adds so much wonderful flavor. And all the spices they put in those mild Italian sausages are just great. So you don't actually have to do that. You can do a sausage that's completely meat-free with vegetarian and a vegetable stock, or use chicken stock if you don't want pork. My mother, I have a separate video on how to make this soup, and I'll try to remember to link to it in the comments. It's in on my YouTube channel. It's in the playlist for recipes, and it's also in the separate playlist for soups. And you know, because it's fall, this is hearty soup season, really encourage you to check out that playlist of soups and maybe subscribe to it so you see it when I add new ones, because I think it will give you some really great ideas for hearty soups. It'll save you a lot of money, a lot of time doing that prep on the weekends. And most of them involve beans and lentils, which they're economical in terms of your time and your budget, and they're also great for your blood sugar. They have so much fiber. They're good for your microbiome. So what I'm adding next is I'm adding 1 can of tomatoes. I don't have any more home canned tomatoes, which is sad. I'm adding those to my pot, and I'm breaking those up. You can get what you like. I've been buying the Kirkland brand. I know it's upside down, but the Kirkland brand, they have 3 packs, so I'm going to rinse that out. I'm doing a couple of shortcuts that I'm going to show you. And people talk to me, and sometimes they tell me they're not really confident in making soup, and this is one of those soups you can start with and be confident with, because it doesn't take a lot of big prep. Lentils, you don't have to soak ahead of time like you would like cannellini beans. So this is a great soup for you to start with. Now the other cheat, because I don't have any homemade chicken broth right now, I just made beef broth, but I don't have chicken broth, this is the brand that I really like. I like the Pacific Foods bone broth chicken, unsalted. Nothing wrong with salt. I just like to add my salt at different times. I order this by the case from Amazon so that I always have it. But I'll show you another kind of cheat that I'm going to do. I'm going to put some of this in here. It's not pouring out properly. to pour about about a half cup of broth into a measuring cup because I want to add, I'm just going to use half of this. I'm going to add some unflavored gelatin. So hang on. So I'm using unflavored beef gelatin. This is from Azure Market. I think I've posted on my Amazon store, you can, Great Lakes unflavored gelatin. So if you're someone who doesn't eat pork and you think you can't have unflavored gelatin, they're making it beef sourced now a lot and well sourced so that people who don't eat pork can also get this benefit. So it increases the protein. Adding this unflavored gelatin actually improves the texture and kind of the mouthfeel of your soup too. So it's a really great culinary hack. But you don't want to add that directly to a hot soup because it's just gonna get clumpy. So you want to dissolve your unflavored gelatin in cold liquid, either water or chicken broth. And then once it's dissolved, I'll set a timer for 5 minutes and I will add it then. So that's pretty much my whole soup. I'm going to add a little more water to this so it's soupier. And let that come to a boil. And then when that comes to a boil, oops, that'll be my reminder to add that unflavored gelatin. And then a little bit later, I got a bag of kale, again from my friend Carolyn, Yakult Mountain Farm and Nursery. I'm going to chop up some kale. You don't have to add greens to it, but I like either kale or Swiss chard added to it for some greens. And then that'll be my soup. We'll have that for dinner tonight, and then I'll put it in jars. I'll probably freeze one of them because it freezes really well, and then we're good to go. So I've got about a third of this left that I'll save in my fridge. I'll put a date on this and put it in my fridge. All right. So the other thing we're making is I'm doing a quinoa salad. So one breakfast or lunch that I've been enjoying lately is I like to cook, like just sunny side up, cook 2 or 3 eggs for either my breakfast or my lunch. And on the side, I like a salad. And my 2 favorite sides to have with this is either a black bean salad that I cook with like red peppers and lime juice and olive oil dressing and cilantro, just a really simple salad. Or I do a quinoa salad, and I have found, because I'm wearing a continuous glucose monitor, I like to test these out. That quinoa salad, even though it's a grain, when I eat it that way, it really keeps my blood sugar in control really well, and that's important to me. So what I've done ahead of time is I have cooked 1 cup of quinoa, just like the lentils. And I don't know if you've cooked quinoa before, but all I did was I took a cup of quinoa and I put it in a mesh strainer and I just rinsed it with a little hot water. Sometimes I don't always do that, but I like to do that. And then I put it in a pot, 1 cup of dry quinoa to 1 1/4 cups of water, pinch of salt, bring it to a boil, and then I move it to my warming burner for 10 minutes. Bam, it's done. Super fast. And then I have a simple dressing, and the dressing I use is just lemon juice, olive oil, and salt. And I always use fresh lemon juice. But then I like to add a couple of different things to it. And I don't have everything I wanted because I thought I had more radishes, and I'm out of radishes. I swear I have more radishes around here. But because I always have this with a protein, I'm not going to be too worried about it. But I want some color and flavor. So what I think I'm going to add is, oh, I know what I have. Again, I got a couple of little cucumbers from my friend Carolyn, so I'm going to cut up some cucumber, and I've got some edamame, so I'm going to have a little edamame in there. I'm going to grate up some carrot and purple cabbage and feta cheese, and then I'm also going to chop up some parsley and chives, which is out in the garden, and I need to go get that. So the first thing I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to lightly cook these edamame. And actually, I don't use edamame as often. My favorite thing to add to this for a little extra protein are lima beans. So I would buy a bag of frozen lima beans. I don't always find them in my store, but when I do, I'll buy like 3 or 4 bags, and this is what I'll use it for. So I have some boiled water in the kettle, and I'm just going to do this and call that cooked. I'll let that sit for a while. Wash some of these veggies. Okay. Let's see, I'm going to use my box grater for some of this. Because what I want some color, and I want a little protein, I want a little flavor. So I've got, it doesn't look very appetizing, but I just have the end of a purple cabbage. And this is I always have this around to add to my salads. Hi, Jamie. And I'm just going to grate a little bit of this. I know I say this all the time, but you know the eat a rainbow thing? You know why we say that. It's because of all the polyphenols. I know you've heard this all before. All the polyphenols in the color, those feed your microbiome, reduce inflammation, and you know there's all that information that you get from your food when you start changing your microbiome for the better. It improves your mood, it improves your metabolism, your glucose tolerance, and everything. I got these lovely little carrots. What?
Not the microbiome again, please.
Amelia's doing homework over here and like big eye rolling going on.
I'm so sick of the microbiome.
She's not sick of the microbiome.
Yes, I am. Don't lie to them.
Little carrot. Put those in there. You know, one flavor hit that I think it's missed out on a lot is the briny flavor. Briny, like a briny cheese or olives or capers. There we go. It's bubbling now. There, so I just added my unflavored gelatin. You know, that unflavored gelatin is the same stuff we use to make Jell-O, but just a little better quality. About a few more minutes. So my briny flavor, my favorite one that I use is feta cheese. It's a nice briny cheese. You could use, if you're making one of these salads, you can use any cheese. You could cut up cheddar cheese. You could use, you know, blue cheese. You could use whatever cheese you want. Feta cheese is one of those cheeses that I love it. I think it makes everything taste. I use it for my burritos. I use it for everything. So that's the end of that feta cheese. And I think the feta goes really well with parsley and it goes feta, lemon juice, and parsley. I think it's just a great combination. So I think this is a pickling cucumber, but I'm just dicing it. And I don't mind that it's a pickling cucumber because I am going to dice it so the texture doesn't bother me. The seeds are really small, so I'm not going to bother removing the seeds from my cucumber. Yum, this is so good. I don't even think I'll miss my radishes. All right, so I have a juicer. I don't know if you use a little juicer. I like this one, but you can just use a fork with it too. But I'm gonna juice a whole lemon for this. And you're like, I just have bottled lemon juice. And you know, if you like your bottled lemon juice, that's fine. But here's the thing with me and lemons and limes. They're good for you. Like, they're really good for you. They're not that expensive. They keep, you know, in the fruit basket that's hanging up there. They taste so much better. They taste so much better. So much vitamin C that, you know, when you get a pasteurized lemon juice product that's in their fridge, that pasteurization actually destroys the vitamin C. So it's not bad for you. And it's a great convenient thing for you if you like it. But, you know, why not treat yourself to using fresh citrus in your salad dressings? You can also zest some of the rind. You know, I'm not doing it now because I'm just being a little lazy. But sometimes I'll try to zest every lemon that I squeeze into something. I put a little bit of the zest in this, and then I'll put the rest in the freezer in a little jelly jar, so that when I make things that would be improved by lemon zest, like anything with blueberries, like blueberry muffins, blueberry bars, blueberry whatever, lemon zest, lemon zest, lemon zest. Zucchini bread, lemon zest. It just brightens the flavor so much. Anyways, so treat yourself. Get some lemons. All right, that is stirring away. I'm going to turn that down, not too low. Okay, I'm going to do this horrible thing where I'm actually going to leave. I'm going to go pick some herbs quick, and I come back and finish the salad for you. So just a sec. All right. Fresh herbs is another thing. If you don't grow them, like I didn't have any garden this year. It's amazing, no garden. But I have these big ugly pots full of parsley and chives. A couple different ones of parsley and chives and mint. Mint wouldn't be too bad in here either. And I babied my chives. I'd always keep them watered because they're so good. So I'm just gonna use scissors for my chives. And go all out. Don't skimp on your fresh herbs like this, because polyphenols, right? They are a vegetable and they are really high in vitamin C. In fact, freshly picked parsley, tons of vitamin C. Tons and tons of vitamin C. In fact, anything green that you pick is going to be high in vitamin C. Pick a dandelion leaf, eat it, loads of vitamin C. Yeah, so you could chop this, but because I have these kitchen shears out, I have a policy of don't use a knife if scissors will do. So much easier. There. Oh, check it out. I know the lighting's kind of funny because I've got bright sunlight in the window. All right, so quinoa, which is warm. And then you could mix up your salad dressing ahead of time, but I always do about 1-to-1 on a grain salad. I do about a 1-to-1 olive oil to lemon juice. I'm going to ballpark this. And a little extra salt and pepper. That was probably a cool quarter of a teaspoon, maybe a little more of salt, because I also added a few pinches of salt when I was cooking the quinoa, and there is salt in the cheese. All right, just gonna strain out these edamames. Is this all right? Yes. All right, people. This is lovely. This is so good. So again, don't get stuck on the ingredients that I'm using, but you know, maybe if this is the first time you make it, I would encourage you to maybe use the same dressing, lemon juice and olive oil, salt, little pepper. Maybe use if you like feta cheese, if that's something, you know, put that in as your brainy thing. And then pick a few colorful things. I personally love sliced radishes in it. I think that's gorgeous. I like a little cucumber, and then get some fresh herbs if you can. You could also use basil in here. And then you could use frozen peas. Peas would be a great legume to put in here. Or edamame, or the lima beans. You could make an Asian style wine if you're like, oh, I'm going to use an Asian style wine. You do edamame, maybe some cucumber, maybe you put a little bit of maybe some seaweed flakes in here and do a sesame dressing. But it's, you know, it's easy. And then this can be a really great side to some eggs or whatever. This would be an easy, this would keep in the fridge really well and serve cold. You can take this for lunch. Super fab. So I'm going to put this in a container, but yeah, that's it. I've done prep. This isn't everything we're going to eat for the week, but this is going to make a big difference and save both Amelia and I time on our lunches. And this should last us the whole week, the two of us, since it's just the two of us this week. So I hope this helps. If you have any questions about recipes, please leave them in the comments. And tag, if you have friends that you think would like this, go ahead and tag them in here if they're already in this group. And like I said, if you want some more ideas for fall soups, some hearty soups, I'll put a link in the comments here soon. You know, go to my YouTube channel, to the playlist for recipes or soups, and, you know, and subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can get some ideas, because sometimes it's hard to think of what to make this week, and making one hearty soup on the weekends, it can cover so many bases if that's just the one bit of meal prep that you do. And nutritionally, it also covers a lot of bases. Okay, so enjoy the rest of your Sunday and have a good week. Thanks for watching.